You are known these days as the puzzle rush king. In a way, you've won a lot of these puzzle rushes. What do you think is the best way to improve your tactical skills in general?
Just practice. Yeah, just like with anything else, more practice, more repetition is gonna be probably the best thing you can do. When I was a kid, that's probably like one of the main things I did was just repeating tactics or reading through books. Like some of my first books were like 1001 checkmates, 1001, I don't know, tactical patterns or something. And I would just like keep doing those. So those patterns kind of got ingrained in my head, even though they were like basic patterns, but still it was very useful as a starting point.
Did you do them pattern-wise? So you started, let's say, with double attack, pins, you said checkmates. Did you do it that way, or did you mix it up a little bit so that you keep developing your pattern recognition?
I think nowadays with most kids probably training on like websites and stuff, they probably can organize things based on the patterns. I think when I was young, I was still reading books. So I think the books, they wouldn't necessarily organize always by pattern. Sometimes it would just be like checkmate in 2, and there would be all sorts of different patterns. I don't think it matters if you do them all like in a row, the same pattern. It's also completely fine to do like a variety of different ones.
I want to ask you a little bit about something that Bobby Fischer said. He was focusing a lot on, he mentioned that the most important ability in chess is spatial perception, seeing the position as it could be. What do you think is more important in Chess 960, as this is the event you're going to be competing in? Do you think it's pattern recognition, we already talked about, or is it visualization?
Yeah, that's a tricky one because pattern recognition is obviously very important in chess, but obviously 960 kind of disturbs that because you get a lot of patterns, at least in terms of the piece coordination early on, that you won't get in normal chess. So I would say the pawn structures, understanding that is like still very important. But I'm not really an expert in 960, you know. I wish I knew like more what was more important that would help me in this tournament. As far as spatial recognition, I don't think that it necessarily more important in 960 compared to regular chess. Although I think that's one thing I feel like I don't actually see things as much as I should, like spatially. I don't know. It's weird. Like when I was a kid, I was probably like better at things like blindfold, and like it was easier for me compared to now. Not that I can't do that stuff, but you know, I'm getting a little bit too old, so I'm losing my brain cells.
I don't believe that. But talking about these recognition and pawn structure, is there a particular exercise you think would help chess players to improve their visualization skills the most?
Well, calculation, tactical, position training, or just calculation.
Would you recommend blindfold chess?
Yeah,
maybe?
I was also going to mention probably blindfold. I mean, I don't know if people usually do it specifically to train. I feel like it's kind of just like happens casually usually. But I think it's also good training. Like when I was a kid, I remember I used to sometimes play against my coaches, for example, Gregory Kaidanov. We would just play blindfold games with no time limit, so they would sometimes last for a very long time and go like very deep into the game. And for sure that was, you know, good training for both visualization and also just getting to play against a stronger player.
During this event, you're going to get the positions 15 minutes before you actually have to play. How important are those 15 minutes for your getting the mindset, how you're going to prepare into the game? Is it enough? Is it not enough?
I think it's going to be pretty important or helpful for me because, you know, 960, at least for me, is pretty unexplored. Whenever I played, it was just like, okay, we have a random position. Nobody knows anything about the starting position, and we just go from there. But I feel like nowadays, there's probably already some players who actually know, if not the theory in every position, but they know like more general principles of what might be different in 960 in the opening compared to normal chess, which I don't really have those, I don't know what those special principles are. And I played a few training games, and I noticed that like in the opening, it's so difficult to actually play accurately. And that's where I was getting outplayed the most, I felt like, or I was playing the worst. So for me to have some time before the game to hopefully be able to figure out something in the opening where I get a reasonable position will definitely be very helpful for me.
Do you prefer classical chess or rapid or blitz? I feel like I know the answer, but...
What do you think my answer?
I think you would say rapid, more rapid than blitz, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think those are more... Well, I wouldn't even necessarily say more fun. Obviously, like blitz is fun. But I think, I enjoy classical as well. It's just, for me, the main thing is psychologically, when there's rating, it makes a big difference. So, like, to be honest, I feel so much less pressure here, even if it was normal chess, just because I guess I don't really care about rapid or blitz rating. And I can just play chess, which is great, and I don't really feel like that extra pressure. I would say probably blitz is the most fun for me, and I mean, they're all fun, but like rapid, I've probably played the least, and I think objectively, I'm probably the worst at it these days, maybe just because I played the least, but it's strange. I used to do like better in rapid compared to classical, like when I used to play like the Pro Chess League and things. And now whenever I play online rapid, I'm always doing worse than before, so I don't know why.
But this is over the board, so I'm really glad to see you don't feel the pressure. I'm looking forward to see you play in the competition. I have a final question for you, Ray. Is there a particular player you're looking forward to the most to play in this event?
I mean, definitely Kasparov. Like, that's amazing that I get a chance to play against him. Didn't think that would ever happen. I mean, he was still playing when I was growing up. I was following all his tournaments or his matches, even against like computers. Back in like the early 2000s, he still had a few matches. And then he retired in 2005. So yeah, and he was like my favorite player to follow. So that was really disappointing. And I've gotten to meet him before, but I never thought I would get a chance to play him. So this is really cool, and it's going to be 960, so it'll be like a new position for both of us. So it's really exciting. So of course there are other great players here, but that's definitely the one I'm most excited about.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ray. I wish you good luck and looking forward to seeing your games.
Thanks.